Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Staffing Sharks Review It. We are getting pumped up here, me and Tim, because I tell you what, within less than 96 hours, we're going to be in Miami Beach. I'm here with my buddy, Tim Robbins. What's up, Timmy?
How you doing, man? It's great to see you, Mr.
Oh,
Shark.
you too, man. Hey, are you ready for some sunshine? I know it's pouring down here in Pittsburgh, man.
I've been counting down the days and hours here for, it seems like a couple of weeks. Really excited. It's interesting. This is the 3-year anniversary of when the world, the clock stopped for us. We were supposed to be there, and now going back is extra special meaning to us.
Them 3 years, we won't talk about them 3 years. They'll be on us.
Right on.
Well, I tell you what, our episode today, man, is going to be so exciting. I got to just say this out there, and Tim knows I say this all the time. Transformers, more than meets the eye. This is what this solution's all about. I mean, Timmy, you got me after I talked to you a couple of days ago, man. This is so exciting. So I just want to deep dive into this a little bit of what's going on, because this is the future right now, man.
Yeah, we're super excited. We couldn't be more excited to be heading down the executive forum with, the momentum that we have in the space. There's a lot of talk about, about technology and about transformative, and we really hit a home run with voice AI for staffing. This company was founded about 3 years ago, but, and has really been focused on staffing and recruiting and really how to solve the whole candidate engagement at scale, since our inception.
So, Tim, tell us a little bit about how does this come about? Like, you've been in the industry for 20 years?
Yeah, I have been. When I joined Monster, it's interesting. The staffing industry wasn't sure if Monster was friend or foe. Good Monster, bad Monster. In fact, Monster became a great enabler for the staffing industry. And for me, I spent 18 years really working hard at delivering solutions, that help companies scale and grow. And I get an opportunity to do it again at CONVERZAI. This is a platform that's been built from need and from pain. Candidly, our founder spent a decade at Microsoft building multi-billion-dollar businesses that that they were able to scale, but had really an understanding early on to some of the challenges of our industry, and that is really connecting and having conversations at scale with candidates. He'd spent times analyzing conversations, and then I think really came up with the why not have the conversation with technology. And so what is today a patented protected technology, and more patents on the way, something that's very unique in our space.
Okay, so let's just deep dive into this. I'm going to throw up a slide right off the bat. First off, everybody, when you go to Miami, you got to stop at booth 316. It's going to be incredible, man. You're going to feel like you're at Star Wars. So
right on. And I would also add that make sure you check out the session on Tuesday at 2:45. Our founder will be presenting during Kirsten Buck's session, which is what's new in workforce innovation. So we'll be at the booth and also presenting as well. But yeah, let's go on. Let's dive in here, man.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, what we
Tell
developed.
us a bit about this.
Yeah, you bet. This is truly transformational. Candidate engagement platform. It's got a number of use cases, but certainly built to source, screen and assess, the candidates that are in the pipeline. If you go to the next slide, there's really, a couple ways to get at it. We have customers that come to us that have large inbound leads. So candidates that have expressed interest, call them a web applicant. Our virtual recruiter, Jamie, is going to pick up those applies. We sit on top of the applicant tracking system. So, think about integration, and we've done all the heavy lifting with Bullhorn, Job Diva, Target Recruit. More recently, we've done Labor Edge is underway, as well as eRecruit, CPAL, and even TepWork. So we sit on top of the applicant tracking system. As candidates come in, virtual recruiter Jamie will pick those candidates up. She'll understand in real time what the requirements are based on being assigned the rec, and begin outreach to those candidates literally in a matter of seconds from somebody hitting the apply button. These candidates will go through the screening process with Jamie. She's going to do that in a matter of seconds and do it at great scale. And we have customers that have 300, 400, 500 applications. Imagine a recruiting team that could get to every one of those candidates, in a matter of a couple of hours.
That's amazing.
Have meaningful conversation, and that's what Jamie does.
And you know what, Tim? What's that one case study? You said there was a company that actually went through 3,000 in 1 week.
Yeah, and those are the healthcare industry especially has loved to really get after our technology and engage it in a hurry. And And so they're sitting on big databases. I mean, at Monster, we help build these massive databases, but oftentimes the candidates are sitting there very inactively. So we'll point the technology at and match candidates to a rec. Maybe they haven't been touched in months or years. And in that case where she's sourcing against databases, we see very high connection rate and engagement rate. We are literally bringing to life dead databases, and so companies get super excited about getting value out of these investments that they've made, oftentimes over years and in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
This is amazing. You know what I love about it? Like, you can be a recruiter 24/7. Your office is now open 24/7.
Yeah, I like to say Jamie doesn't get tired. She doesn't get frustrated. She's persistent. Our platform is omni-channel. I should also point out, Richard.
Okay.
So while she'll have a conversation, an inbound lead, a web applicant, those folks are poised, right, and ready for a conversation. So she may call those first, but she can also interact with candidates in our customer's brand via text or email. And if that's where the customer, or the candidate prefers to communicate, she can go through that entire process via text or email in addition to voice. We certainly see the data being much richer in a voice conversation. And so that's what we try to get to. But if somebody's not available or doesn't want to jump on a call, we can do it via text or email as well.
So what's the average length of conversation with Jamie?
Yeah, we've got the Guinness Book. We think of conversation. The longest is for a really high level, development role for a very major, recognized company. That was 21 minutes. But the conversations go 5 to 20 minutes. They can be briefer, but we see, on average that, that 5-minute, kind of 7-minute. Healthcare, IT, those can be longer, more technical. Maybe light industrial can be briefer, but it can be everything from that, initial screening to even background checks. And customers, as soon as they jump into a pilot with us, the thinking begins. Okay, what's next? What else can we do? So imagine dropping off a link to an onboarding app, and imagine Jamie being able to follow up with the candidate, to talk to them, to remind them maybe that they didn't start or they didn't complete the app. Those are all things customers are thinking about, and certainly things that are in our wheelhouse.
And what I love is, we talked about before, Jamie has no emotions.
No emotions.
It's going to be right on all the time.
That's right. I like to say, recruiters have scripts, candidates do not. But so Jamie's smart enough to be able to, again, this is human-like technology, voice technology, where, a candidate wants to hijack the conversation and get right to what's the pay rate. Jamie's going to be able to do that without emotion. We also hear from customers that, hey, those are hard questions for my recruiters. You consistently ask. Again, Jamie doesn't get emotional. She doesn't get uptight about it. She'll plow through, the conversation, and some of those questions may be harder than others, and she'll do that without emotion and not get frustrated, not give up. I mean, we see time after time where Jamie will deliver a lead, and maybe the candidate update or the record gets updated with left a voicemail. Well, that's not really follow-up. So how do you get back to that meaningful conversation? And Jamie can, persist on that.
So I got to ask you, Tim, so Jamie, she's 24/7 rocking it out there. Is there what are you seeing with case studies on your end for the staffing firms? I know they're scrubbing through their old database, but this can be used for current people, from Indeed to the job boards and everything, Monster and everything, right?
Jamie loves inbound leads. I mean, again, those are candidates that are poised, and she has a high connection rate on those candidates in real time. As soon as Jamie reaches the candidate, she'll go through that conversation. She'll score the conversation and then send the outcome to the recruiting team, all in milliseconds. This is human or staffing augmentation. When I joined Monster, as I said, there was this question: is this going to be good for staffing or not? And then people realized we were enablers. Well, that's what Jamie is. She's an enabler to the staffing and recruiting team. She's going to get the recruiters to the candidates that are ready, that have scored well against the rec, and do that, in volume. And so again, get more candidates to the finish line faster is what Jamie's all about.
And the score, is it like a 1 to 10 score? Is that how it goes, or a 1 to 5?
It's a scale, and there's certainly algorithms in there, but it's 1 to 100. But I mean, we see candidates that may score low, but they're still placeable, and maybe even not placeable to that particular rec. There is today a 1-to-1 relationship. Jamie's if somebody applies to a job, she's going to call them about that job. But maybe there's a location mismatch. Maybe there's a pay mismatch. Jamie will have that conversation, and provide that insight to the recruiting team. So maybe there's a rec in the same marketplace, or a market that is a better fit for the candidate the other side of town. So again, she'll create that output and really get recruiters to with those candidates to that final mile to match them up to the ideal match. So all of that stuff's in the platform. We update what customers love is we also update the candidate record. So all those things that I'm talking about, the scorecard and and really the outputs from that'll go directly into the candidate record. And we're really bringing to life these databases that, again, been built over a long period of time and doing it with technology.
Well, Tim, I see this. You see people with 200,000 contacts in there they haven't touched in 5 years. I mean, they used to just put somebody in there, bring somebody in, pay them just to scrub the whole thing. After about 30 calls, you get tired.
Right.
Jamie never gets tired. So it's
never gets tired. And we can set up rules. I mean, a lot of customers say, well, geez, could Jamie call a candidate too much? But there's all that is set up in our integrations with all the platforms I mentioned. So again, we can set up rules around contact. We believe in staffing that if you haven't connected the candidate to a job and really got them fired up in that 3-day time cycle, then somebody probably else has got the job. And so we're not going to call the same candidate multiple times or for multiple different jobs. All that's set up in the rules. But again, Jamie will persist. She can, if she doesn't reach somebody with a call, she can send them a text, let them know that she's calling on behalf of XYZ staffing company about this particular job. So, she's building that interest. And we've all seen different forms of AI, and experience it in our daily life. But I can tell you that the key is that, those first 10 seconds, those first, milliseconds in a call, and Jamie captures the imagination. She's calling about work, and somebody that's expressed interest, they're willing to have that conversation as long as it's quality conversation. And this is human-like. I mean, we hear candidate after candidate that forget they're talking to technology and call virtual recruiter Jamie ma'am. I mean, it happens every day. It's that, that real. So I encourage anybody that's checking us out here to stop by the booth. The old saying, seeing is believing. Well, I'd say hearing is believing. And we're going to be doing demos, throughout the conference, and would love to really show anybody that's interested how this works.
What's amazing, Tim, and I got to say it's not going to replace the recruiter at all. We keep saying that it's not. This is enhancing the recruiters. I mean, I can sit back and just watch Jamie do all the work, and then at the end of the day, I'm there to put the cherry on top and close the deal.
That's exactly right. It's one of our early investors has this category called human augmentation, and we sit right in the middle of human augmentation for staffing. So we're friends to staffing, to recruiting teams. We're going to get them better output at the end of the day. How can they put more people to work? That's our mission.
And I got to tell you, there's nothing out there like this at all. I mean, this is the cutting edge of recruiting and staffing. I'm just looking at this. I'm thinking, okay, so source, screen, access. I mean, you got everything that you need right here. Yeah. And correct me or not, you said no spamming. You can turn it off and on when you want to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would also say that we're one of the things that is especially exciting is that we're not size agnostic. So again, size of staffing company doesn't matter. I mean, we have customers that are 10 million in size to billions in size, and everything in between. We're not agnostic. We're agnostic around the segment, right? So healthcare, IT, light industrial, all of the major segments, Jamie's capable of and has been trained to have those kind of conversations, across those key categories. So size is, any size is good. And any of the major sectors, there's really just two, legal and probably teaching or substitute teaching, that we haven't covered. But that's just customer demand. And as customers ask, we'll be able to do that as well.
You know what this reminds me of, Tim? I got to say it, man, from the 80s. This is like Knight Rider. I'm talking to Kit. You know what I mean? Seriously, it's like the same thing. It's like, really, now it's coming here 30 years, 40 years later. Here we are with recruiting, talking to Kit.
People get excited when they hear it. It's just, hearing it is believing it. But we're gonna be showcasing Jamie at Exec Forum and invite anybody that wants to check it out to come by and say hi.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this out. Is it working? Are you guys doing anything with the clients yet? So Jamie can talk to clients.
As in make sales calls?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that might have been a question that's been asked a time or two already. I mean, we're focused today on staffing and recruiting. But we like to say we've done the hard part, and that's voice AI. Once you got the voice AI, you can train it. And so, again, today customers are talking to us about following up on onboarding documents. What about checking in with candidates when they're mid-contract? So all of those things are, that's just kind of the detail stuff. We've done the hard part and done that at scale.
So tell me a little bit about the back office. Like, the user friendly. People's probably saying, oh my goodness, how many do I have to click to certain people to send Jamie to? How easy is it and robust is it for somebody to use?
It's as simple as a rec comes in, and today you assign it to a recruiter. Today you just add virtual recruiter Jamie to that assigned to field, and Jamie will understand the requirements. Actually, she'll even help from a data hygiene standpoint. If something critical is missing in the ad, she'll push that back to the recruiter that would be assigned to work with Jamie on that particular ad. So she's going to, again, technology. She's going to understand the requirements. Hands-free from a recruiter, as long as you've got a rec. We like to say, as long as the rec is a little bit better than junk, Jamie can do her thing. She'll have those conversations at scale. As soon as the conversation ends, she's going to score the conversation and send the output directly to the recruiting team. So, to that point, it's completely hands-free. But once she sends an interested candidate, then speed continues to matter. We see customers that are now, finding out ways to connect with those candidates once Jamie's already had that conversation in seconds and minutes. And we see the data points to the sooner you get to those candidates, they're ready now, the higher the probability of getting them placed before the competition gets to them. And so, we also have developed a dashboard. So that dashboard provides, maybe it's recruiting managers and leadership visibility to all of this happening in real time. We also highlight if Jamie's created a hot lead and somebody's missed it, that's very visible so that they don't miss those candidates. And so, the key is to be able to really organize around the output. And so some customers that, we get started, they are blown away by the initial output and have to really think about, how to deploy the resources against that. But it's hands-free. The change management is, just making sure that the recruiting team understands that Jamie's good. We even let, candidates or recruiters hear virtual recruiter Jamie before. And then actually once we launch, we'll let them hear calls on behalf of their company so that they see this is good. And then it's just a matter of all they care about then is the output, turning up the ball. How many more jobs can we assign to Jamie? Again, she's going to source off the database. She loves inbound candidates, and she does both of those against the same rec.
And what's amazing is I used to recruit and I still do on Saturdays. You could have Jamie set up at 10 o'clock to like 1 o'clock on Saturdays when all the candidates are home, happy to just tear it up.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, we're not going to call candidates in the middle of the night. Jamie's, default times, are set to be during, kind of human hours. But, oh, by the way, if somebody, think about healthcare, they're working night shift, right? Maybe somebody from healthcare's, expressed interest, in an off hour. Well, Jamie's going to pick that up and can be, maybe she'll lead with a text. Hey, are you available, for a conversation? And again, do that either after hours, late hours, or over the weekend. So yeah, I mean, Jamie's always on. That's what a great way to engage a candidate. We introduced this platform at Staffing World, and Joyce Russell, a friend to so many of us in staffing, I had a chance to give Joyce a listen. And one of her first thoughts was, where's Eric Gregg at? Imagine the impact on the industry's NPS scores from a customer satisfaction standpoint. Everybody gets a conversation, or at least an opportunity to have that conversation. And so it's a game changer, it's a game changer there as well.
I mean, this is I can't say anymore. This is the Star Wars of recruiting right now. I mean, it is. And I'll be honest with Tim, if people don't get this or jump on this, I mean, last year was the QR code and then it was the app. Now it's, then it's ChatGPT. Now it's like, you don't have to type anything in. Everything's automated. Yeah.
Just get us a rec. Just get virtual recruiter, Jamie, a rec, and she'll get you great output and interested candidates in seconds or minutes.
So at your booth in Miami, we can demo this, right?
Yeah. We're going to have we'll have live actual conversations with real candidates. We'll scrub off the name of our clients to protect them. But we're going to have demos and happy to share with anybody that wants to stop by. This this is new, but it's here, it's real, and it's ready to scale, for companies of all sizes and kinds in the industry.
And are you seeing this just in the United States, or are you guys going across seas yet in Europe, or how's it working?
Yeah, I mean, there's customers that once they see it, start asking those questions. Today, we're 100% in the U.S., and I would also say English only. But there's opportunities for Jamie to speak other languages, and then think about scaling this internationally. But we could do, we'll have some customers test us in English only countries, but today it's U.S. only.
That's amazing. I mean, from screening to, everything. And the last thing I got to say is, okay, so Jamie talks all this stuff. Is there a way for me to put some of the lingo that I have from my area into that?
Yeah, I mean, part of the onboarding process is we ask customers if they have recordings, to share, and we'll intake those. Jamie's done, hundreds of thousands of calls across all these categories. But if there's some kind of nuance, then we'll take that, under consideration. But that we have, there's an opportunity to influence that is the answer. And we'll do that, especially in new categories. We've got customers that, maybe there's some nuance within, like industrial or whatever. And again, an opportunity to nuance that. We also have customers send us their scripts. Again, I think early on said, well, our recruiters have scripts, we know candidates don't, but we can ingest those, those inputs. Healthcare is, different in terms of how bill rates and weekly compensation, is calculated. Jamie understands all those things, and can have intelligent conversations at scale, for things like that.
All in one right here. This is it. I mean, there's nothing else I can say. Hey, Tim, before we leave, buddy, any final thoughts before we get to Miami, or any final thoughts you want to talk about your solution, man?
Yeah, listen, you've given me great opportunity to share. I would say, just be sure if you get down there, check out Ash's session on Tuesday at 2:45. There'll be a lot of geeking going on there. We're excited to be down there, and we'll be represented there at booth 316, and we will have multiple opportunities and platforms ready to show and tell for anybody that wants to come say hi. So hope to see everybody there.
That's right. And I'm going to tell everybody, bring your flip-flops. It's the beach, right, Tim? You better have flip-flops on, Tim, at the booth.
Absolutely.
Man. Come on.
Love it, man. Love it. Thanks so much for having me today.
Thank you again for coming on, sharing this. I call it this transformer, for the recruiting industry. It's amazing. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to check it out myself. I'm definitely going to take some video of this, Tim. But once again, thank you so much. Hey, brother, I'll see you on Monday, man, in Miami.
Be down there. See you.
You guys get a chance, check them out. Take care.